Dinner always feels like the biggest, most complex meal to make, but it doesn't have to be. You can put together some delicious meals like this cheesy chicken quesadilla, a buttery cod with asparagus, and a rich chicken teriyaki using just 3 ingredients each, and any one of these come together in less than 20 minutes. Plus, if you want to double the flavor, I'll give you 1 to 2 easy optional ingredients you can add that'll take these meals to the next level. First, we have a delicious chicken quesadilla, and our 3 ingredients are chicken thighs, a flour tortilla, and some medium cheddar cheese. First thing we're gonna do is grab 2 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we're gonna hit it with a sprinkling of salt on both sides, as well as garlic powder and paprika. Now, these are pantry stable items, as well as olive oil, which I don't include in the final ingredient count because these are things that you should already have in your kitchen. Plus, the amount of garlic powder and paprika we use is so small that if you don't have it, then don't bother buying it, but you should have this stuff already. Once your chicken is fully seasoned, we're gonna grab a medium-sized pan, setting it to medium-high heat, and we're gonna head on over to our oven, setting it to 350 degrees convection bake. We'll squeeze in a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and then once it's hot, we're gonna sear the chicken on one side for about 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes later, when we flip it, you can see we have a nice little sear developed, all those herbs kind of toasted and burned a little bit. I'm gonna sear the other side for really about a minute, and I'm gonna just check the internal temperature of our chicken, which as you can see, it's super raw. That's okay though, because we're gonna move it over to a sheet pan and then throw this sucker in the oven for about 5 to 8 minutes. Trust me when I say searing it in the pan and then throwing it in the oven to cook will always be faster than just cooking it in the pan. About 6.5 minutes later, I'm gonna pull our chicken out of the oven and we're gonna check the internal temperature, and we have that perfect 185 degree temperature for dark meat. I'm gonna now move our chicken onto our cutting board, and I wanna give it vertical cuts along the chicken and then horizontal cuts, giving us nice, perfectly cubed chicken. We have a nice little bit of browning. It is perfectly juicy and tastes absolutely phenomenal. It's like lethal how good that is, actually. It's scary how good that is. And I can't stress enough how important it is to cook it to that perfect 185 degrees. It makes a world's difference. Now we're gonna set our chicken to the side, and then we're gonna grab our non-stick pan as well as an 8-inch flour tortilla. I'm gonna set the pan to like medium-low heat, and then in the tortilla, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of our shredded medium cheddar cheese, which I shredded it myself because it makes a world's difference versus buying that pre-shredded wax-coated cheese. On top of the cheese, I'm gonna throw in about 1 chicken thighs worth of chicken, and then I'm gonna hit it with the remainder of our cheese, which is about like 3/4 to 1 cup of shredded cheese total. And now for our secret extra ingredient, I'm gonna sprinkle on a little bit of crispy fried onions. This crispy onion packet could be found at most salad sections in the grocery store, and the benefit of it is that it gives us a beautiful crunchy texture to our quesadilla. Now I'm gonna fold our tortilla closed, and I'm gonna gently cook this at like medium-low heat just so the cheese could slowly melt and it'll nicely toast the outside of our tortilla. Now I'm gonna give our tortilla a flip, and as you can see, a nice crust has formed on the outside, and not only that, the cheese has now toasted and burnt on the edges a little bit, giving us nice little crispy cheesy bits. Now I'm gonna toast the other side as well for just a few minutes, and then I'm gonna split it open, and behold, a beautiful cheesy 3-ingredient quesadilla with an optional 4th ingredient that I'll admit I think is worth it because it just adds another layer of deliciousness to it. Taste-wise, this does not feel like it's only 3 ingredients. You're gonna be shocked at how delicious this is. Oh, and if anybody has any good tips on how to get a good cheese pull, let me know. Our next recipe, we're making an elegant Parmesan crusted cod using only cod, Parmesan cheese, and asparagus. And if you're enjoying this video and want to support, please hit the like and subscribe button. First thing we're gonna do is grab our cod. I have here about 1 pound worth of cod, and to prep it, we're just gonna cut it in half and separate it into 2 pieces. I'm then gonna hit both sides of those pieces with salt and then set them to the side to dry brine. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab a medium-sized sized pot, and I'm gonna fill it up with about 4 to 5 cups of water, hit it with a strong pinch of salt, and then set it to high heat. While we wait for that pot to boil, we're gonna now grab our asparagus, and we're just gonna cut the asparagus down to the size that it'll fit in our pot. Once the pot has reached a rapid boil, we're gonna throw our asparagus in there and blanch them for just 2 minutes. Blanching is probably one of the fastest ways at cooking your vegetables, and after 2 minutes, I'm gonna just strain out the liquid in my sink and then set it to the side. I'll now grab our cod once again, and as you can see, there's a nice bit of moisture on the outside of it, so with a paper towel, I'm gonna dab it dry, and then I'm gonna hit it with a sprinkling of garlic powder. Again, garlic powder is a pantry staple, and this is really just to give it a little bit more color when we cook it, as well as a little bit more boost of flavor. You're only gonna hit one side of it with garlic powder, and on top of that, you're gonna hit it with some shredded Parmesan cheese. Make sure you're using the fresh stuff, and make sure you're getting it edge to edge, because we wanna get a nice Parmesan cheesy crust. Once you've beautifully seasoned your cod pieces, we're gonna now head on over to our oven and set it to 350 degrees convection bake. I'll next grab a small saucepan, setting it to medium-high heat and squeezing in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Once it gets to temperature, I'm gonna slowly lay down our Parmesan crusted cod, and we're gonna sear it for 2 minutes. At the end of the 2 minutes, I'm gonna give it a flip, and as you can see, we have a beautiful, stunning, light but crispy crust on the outside. I'm gonna now sear this other side for 1 additional minute, and then I'm gonna check the internal temperature, and as you can see, we still have some ways to go. We wanna get to 140, 145 degrees. So I'm gonna move it to a sheet pan and then toss it in our oven and let it cook in there for about 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes later, we're gonna check the internal temperature, and we're right at that beautiful 145 degree mark. I'm gonna now set this to the side, and now you could plate this and have a wonderful meal as is, but I'm gonna add 2 more ingredients that are gonna more than double the flavor of this dish now. Our first ingredient is gonna be half a stick of unsalted butter, and we're gonna leave it at medium heat until the butter starts to brown. You'll see it'll start to foam up, and then the color will get darker and darker, and you'll start smelling a lot of nutty notes. Once it's starting to foam and it's darkened slightly, we're gonna now throw in 1 tablespoon of capers, which these are an insane little punch of flavor, and we're just gonna toast them off and kind of fry them in the butter just for about 30 seconds. After that, we're gonna transfer this liquid into a container, and now you have an insane brown butter caper sauce. That's perfect for finishing a delicate fish like cod. And now this is your super simple Parmesan crusted cod, and with 2 more ingredients, you get a brown buttered Parmesan crusted cod. Taste-wise, this will not disappoint. It's honestly quite elegant for using just a few ingredients. Lastly, we're making an ultra decadent honey and soy chicken using chicken thighs, soy sauce, and honey. First thing we're gonna do is grab 2 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And if you don't wanna butcher them right now, just buy boneless, skin off. But if you want a little bit of extra flavor, we're gonna butcher it really quickly. So we're gonna peel off that outside skin, which just peels off really easily. You might have to cut it at the very end, but besides that, very little knife work. We're then gonna flip the thigh over, revealing that bone underneath it, and then we're gonna give it vertical cuts along both sides of the bone. Just keep doing shallow cuts, opening and exposing more of that bone slowly. Once you can see both sides of the bone, we're gonna then now bring our knife underneath it and then cut out towards one of the tips of the bone. You should be able to grab that tip and lift it up off the chicken meat, and now with the back of your knife, you're just gonna graze down along the side of the bone, pushing all that meat down and back into the leg. I'm now gonna cut around the other tip of the bone, freeing it from the chicken thigh itself, and that's it. You now have 2 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and you can use the bones to make a beautiful chicken stock, and we'll be using the skin right now really quickly as well. We're gonna season our chicken thighs with just salt on both sides of them, and then we're gonna head on over to our oven, setting it to 350 degrees convection bake. We're gonna now lay down our chicken skin on a sheet pan nice and flat, and you might have noticed I have 2 extra pieces. Well, that's from our quesadilla recipe. I also ended up butchering that chicken as well. Either way, we're gonna now put another sheet pan on top of our sheet pan, pressing down our chicken skin, and then we're gonna throw that in the oven. We're gonna let it cook in there for around 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab a small saucepan and I'm gonna set it to medium-high heat. I'm gonna pour in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Once it's hot, I'm then gonna lay down our chicken in there so it could sear for 2 to 3 minutes on one side. side. I'll give it a flip, and as you can see, a beautiful crust has now developed. I'm gonna sear the other side as well for just about a minute this time. And then I'm gonna pour in about 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce, which my pan was a little too hot here, so pardon the smoke. But on top of the soy sauce, I'm also gonna pour in 2 tablespoons of honey. Reduce the heat to medium low, and now mix all those ingredients together, and we're gonna let that soy sauce and honey mixture simmer into our chicken. Now we're gonna keep flipping our chicken in that sauce, letting it thicken and reduce until we get a nice, beautiful, glossy sauce that we could drizzle over the chicken. This took about 5 minutes roughly, but again, you wanna make sure the internal temperature of your chicken is at that perfect 185 degrees. Now I'm gonna set it to the side at very low heat to keep it warm, and now we're gonna check on our chicken skin. I'm gonna lift the pan up, and you can see the chicken skin has now thinned out and turned into nice crispy chicken skin chips. Now I'm gonna make a quick adjustment to the recipe. Instead of baking at 350, bake it at 400 degrees instead. 350 took a little longer than I would have liked, and cooking it at 400 would have sped it up to that 15 to 20 minute mark. Now watch me fail at this crunch test because I didn't realize how hot they are. Oh, it's so hot. Oh my God. Oh my God, I totally forgot that's ripping hot. Burnt taste buds to the side. Now we're ready to assemble this sucker. But if you wanna boost the flavors even more, I highly recommend you add these 2 ingredients, frozen vegetables, as well as instant rice. Just to give you more of a rounded, fuller meal, we're gonna quickly blanch these frozen vegetables in boiling hot water for 2 minutes. And make sure you salt the water before throwing the veggies in there. I'll strain out the liquid in the sink, and then I'm gonna throw our rice in the microwave for 1 minute to reheat. And if you didn't want to dirty another pot, you could just throw the veggies in the microwave as well, so long as the bag is microwave safe. And now you have a delicious, glossy, honey soy sauce chicken, seasoned beautifully and cooked perfectly, paired with some nice optional rice and veggies on the side. It has a nice, delicious, crunchy chicken skin as well. Taste-wise, this is gonna blow your mind. It's basically like a teriyaki chicken with just a lot less ingredients. If you like fast, easy recipes that only take 20 minutes to make, then check out this video right here. I promise it won't disappoint. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe button.